She was told her brother died in a car crash 10 years ago. But tonight, he showed up at her doorstep as a cartoon robot, claiming his real body is being held captive to power the entire world. This story begins in 1990, before the war. A young girl named Michelle lives with her family. Her brother, Christopher, is a certified genius. He effortlessly solves a test that a professor claims took even Einstein 3 full days to complete. Michelle teases him, saying he can't go to college before her. But beneath the banter, there is immense pride. However, Chris's focus on his own world leads to a clumsy encounter with an officer who scoffs at the robot cartoon on his shirt, warning that war is coming. Despite his incredible intellect, Chris is hesitant about the future. He admits he only took the test to appease their parents, feeling unready for college. Michelle reassures him, calling his brain the most amazing and annoying thing in her life. She reminds him of his potential to change the world, something the professor himself acknowledged. Chris confesses he'd rather face that future with her by his side. In a touching moment, Michelle explains that no matter the distance, they will always be connected. Chris, ever the scientist, explains this is theoretically possible through quantum entanglement. Their bond is sealed with a playful fist bump, a pact tied to their favorite cartoon, Kid Cosmo. But the world is about to change forever. News breaks that the Kid Cosmo cartoon is cancelled, a victim of rising anti-robot sentiment. This sentiment is set against the backdrop of a major societal shift. A new segment introduces Ethan Skate, the handsome and visionary founder of Century Technologies. Skate reveals his deep-seated mistrust of robots, questioning their ability to understand humanity's best interests. A documentary, style, montage explains the history of robot evolution. Initially created as promotional tools, they were mass-produced and became the backbone of the global workforce. They performed the jobs humans didn't want, never complaining. But a day came when they grew tired of their assigned lives and demanded lives of their own. This sparked the robot rights movement, led by the charismatic former promotional bot, Mr. Peanut. In a fiery speech, he declared that their destiny was theirs to fight for, not for humans to decide. Society was fiercely divided, with debates raging over whether bots deserve the right to liberty. The conflict escalated as rogue bots vandalized national monuments. In response, the president declared war on the robot population. Harboring a robot became an act of treason. For 2 years, humanity fought a losing battle against an enemy that didn't need to eat, sleep, or blink. Then, Ethan Skate stepped in, offering a leap forward for mankind. He unveiled the Neurocaster, a device linking the human mind to mechanized drone bodies. As long as humanity retained control, Skate had no issue with the technology. Humans could now fight fire with mechanized fire, and within weeks, the war was over. Mr. Peanut signed a treaty of surrender. Defeated robots were imprisoned in Centra's massive exclusion zone in the American Southwest. Centra then commercialized the Neurocaster, marketing it not as a weapon, but as freedom, escapism for the masses. The technology that won the war now promised to change the way people live their lives. Years later, Michelle is a ward of the state, living with a foster father, Ted, who spends his days jacked into the Neurocaster. He communicates through a drone, which pesters her about joining an after-school activity. She mocks him, disgusted by his absence from reality. She discovers that Ted's prized possessions are all black market goods, looted from the exclusion zone. At school, Neurocasters are mandatory, but Michelle refuses to participate. She prefers to live in reality, a stance that puts her at odds with her teacher. The teacher, looking at her file, learns that Michelle's entire family is deceased. Assuming they were casualties of the war, she is surprised when Michelle coldly clarifies they died after their car hit a deer. The memory haunts her, a broken toy, her younger brother in distress, and her desperate attempts to comfort him. That night, she is jolted awake by nightmares of the crash. But a real noise from outside draws her from her bed. Grabbing a flashlight, she finds the yard in disarray. She stumbles over something and scrambles back inside, bolting the door. She tries to wake Ted, still lost in his virtual world, screaming that there is a robot outside. But he is unresponsive. She is alone. Armed with a screwdriver, she confronts the intruder, a small yellow robot with a cartoonish face. It speaks in garbled catchphrases from the old Kid Cosmo show. Then, it holds up a worn photograph. It is a picture of her and her brother, Chris. The world she knows is a lie. This isn't just a bot, it is him. But suddenly, Ted's drone bursts in, furious about the bot's presence. He knows the state will throw him in prison for harboring a robot. His real body then stumbles into the room, a disoriented man trying to fight a bot that isn't really there. In the chaos, Michelle uses a taser to knock Ted unconscious and calls 911, reporting a robot attack. She and her brother escape in Ted's car, but neither knows how to drive. They crash through the garage, leaving a trail of destruction behind them. Stranded on the side of the road with a flat tire, Michelle tries to communicate with Chris. She demands he stop the cartoon. Bullshit. He is alive, and she needs to know how to find his real body. Through a series of robotic gestures and catchphrases, he gives her a clue: Centra. He then makes a gesture of wearing glasses, indicating the person who knows his location wears them. A flash of memory hits her, the doctor with glasses who told her Chris had passed away. Chris points to a location on a map, deep inside the dreaded exclusion zone. It is a prison for robots, a place no one is supposed to break into. Her only lead comes from one of Ted's looted boxes, a P.O. box in Clayton, New Mexico. The owner of this box knows how to get in and out of the X. With no other options, Michelle and Chris hitch a ride on a freight train, heading for New Mexico. They arrive at a desolate post office and wait. A truck pulls up, and a man named Keats gets out to check his box. He is a scavenger, meeting his partner, a drone named Wolf, to trade a rare antique pistol. The deal goes south when Wolf tries to double-cross him. But Keats isn't alone. His real partner, a large robot named Herman, zaps Wolf's drone out of the air. Michelle and Chris seize their chance, hiding in the back of Keats' truck. The duo drives off, unknowingly carrying 2 stowaways. They arrive at their hideout, a massive underground bunker filled with scavenged pop culture relics. Keats complains about his fridge failing, all his food spoiled. He quickly realizes Herman unplugged it to use the extension cord for his own charging station, sparking a classic roommate squabble. Michelle finally makes her presence known, emerging from the shadows. Keats is shocked to find a kid and a Cosmobot in his bunker. Michelle declares they need to get to the X, leveraging her knowledge of his black market business. Keats refuses, telling her the exclusion zone is a death sentence. But their argument is cut short. They're not alone. A man arrives, Bradbury, the butcher of Schenectady, a ruthless agent from the Robot Deactivation Task Force. Keats tries to bluff, creating a backstory about his mute sister Veronica, but Bradbury isn't fooled. He lists Michelle's numerous charges, including abetting an enemy of the state. Bradbury's forces storm the bunker, destroying Keats's precious merchandise. He corners Chris, marking him for deactivation, calling him heartless. Just as he is about to strike, Herman intervenes, giving them a chance to escape. With no other choice, Keats yells, X. After a frantic search for the right key, they floor it, with Bradbury's forces in hot pursuit. Bradbury, a man who doesn't take no for an answer, simply latches onto their truck and is dragged along for the ride. Michelle manages to shake him off, sending him flying into the desert. They've made it into the exclusion zone, but their truck hits the end of the line, crashing down a sandy embankment. They are now truly trapped. Keats explains the grim reality. The wall surrounding them is inescapable. Their despair is interrupted by the arrival of scavenger bots, cannibalistic machines that kill other bots for parts. Michelle remains defiant, focused on finding the doctor at Tabletop Mountain. Keats scoffs, but Michelle proposes a deal. She has a plan, and they have a ride. Herman, using one of his alternate body attachments, lifts the entire van, and the unlikely crew sets off across the desert. During the journey, Keats shares his story. Herman, then a construction bot, saved his life during the war. When Sentra drones tried to kill them both, they went on the run, a man and a bot against the world. Michelle simply states that, when she finds her brother, they'll do whatever they want. Meanwhile, Ethan Skate is facing a crisis. The Neurocaster network is failing, because Christopher's consciousness is gone. His scientists reveal that a backdoor, deliberately built into the system, allowed his mind to drip out. Without Chris, Skate's entire empire will collapse by the end of the week. Desperate, Skate contacts the one man who can help, Bradbury. He offers to get Bradbury's personal drone network back online in exchange for capturing the bot. Bradbury agrees, seeing an opportunity to get the evidence he needs to legally enter the X and hunt again. As Michelle's group nears Tabletop Mountain, they spot what looks like a well-maintained mall. But it is a trap. A massive bot throws a fridge at their van, sending them careening into a ditch. They are captured by a bizarre troupe of entertainer bots, led by a magician named Perplexo. He dramatically opens a gate, revealing a hidden community inside the mall. They are brought before the community's leader, the legendary Mr. Peanut. He explains this place, Blue Sky Acres, is an oasis for bots to evolve beyond their original programming. Michelle asks about the doctor with glasses. Mr. Peanut confirms Dr. Clark Amherst was there, but he kicked him out. He couldn't risk the doctor's presence threatening the fragile peace he had built. He sees all humans as selfish and refuses to help, telling them to leave. Furious, Michelle storms out, calling him no different from the humans he despises. Keats and Chris convince her to wait until morning, as the X is too dangerous at night. That night, as she replays memories of her brother, she is approached by a mail delivery bot. It holds a letter from Dr. Amherst, which he left for Christopher in case he ever showed up. The letter contains an address, 2201 Pinnacle Peak Road. The mail bot, wrecked with guilt, points them in the right direction. Moved by her determination, Mr. Peanut has a change of heart. He agrees to help them leave. He introduces them to a baseball bot, an expert on fighting scavs, to guide them through the dangerous territory. They journey through a wasteland of discarded Americana, a graveyard of forgotten theme parks. Suddenly, they're ambushed by a massive, monstrous scavenger bot, assembled from playground equipment. It gives chase, relentlessly trying to tear them apart. They slide into a hidden laboratory just in time, escaping the monster's fiery breath. Inside, they find Dr. Amherst. He is alive. Michelle immediately confronts him, demanding to know where her brother is. Amherst reveals the horrifying truth. After the accident, Christopher was comatose. Centra, desperate to win the war, treated it like an organ donation, harnessing his unique brain to power the entire neurocaster network. He shows them footage of Chris, his body waking from the coma, trapped and terrified. Amherst, consumed by guilt, tried to disconnect him, but Skate threatened his life. His only recourse was to create the backdoor that allowed Chris's consciousness to escape. But their reunion is cut short. Bradbury's drone appears on a monitor, followed by the man himself. Using the evidence of bots attacking his drones, Skate has violated the treaty, allowing him to deploy Centra forces into the X. A massive battle erupts. Centra's war drones descend on Blue Sky Acres, laying waste to the bot sanctuary. Bradbury confronts Mr. Peanut, coldly informing him that the destruction of his home is his own fault. Back at the lab, Amherst, knowing he is cornered, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He tells Michelle to take Chris and run, then faces Bradbury, buying them precious seconds with his life. Skate, arriving via drone, orders Amherst eliminated. Bradbury, realizing he has been a pawn in a larger, more sinister game, is left stunned. Skate captures Chris, telling a heartbroken Michelle to simply go home. The sanctuary is in ruins. The survivors mourn their losses. Back at Centra, Skate welcomes Christopher's consciousness back into the mainframe. He reveals his true, messianic vision, to end all suffering by trapping humanity in a virtual utopia. A world of soft hugs and stuffed peppers. Bradbury, now fully aware of Skate's madness, calls him out for murdering a boy. Skate dismisses him, claiming Bradbury was merely a witness to history, while he and the boy fey history. Defeated, Michelle stares at her reflection, having lost her brother for a second time. But Keats finds her. He admits the world sucks, but there are good people in it worth fighting for. People like her, who don't know how to quit. He offers to go with her, to get her brother back. Their hope is renewed when Amherst's friendly computer bot, PC, reveals it holds all of the doctor's knowledge, including security codes for the X and Centra's Seattle headquarters. But there is a catch. Disconnecting Chris won't just free him, it will cause a total system failure, collapsing the entire Centra network. Michelle realizes this is their chance, not just to save her brother, but to tear down Skate's whole Six system. She rallies the remaining bots, proposing an alliance, bots and humans fighting together against the real enemy. This time, Mr. Peanut agrees. Metal and meat, together. Using PC's codes, they hijack a fleet of semi-trucks and launch an audacious assault on Centra's island fortress. Herman, piloting a colossal 60-foot construction bot, leads the charge. Skate watches, unfazed, ordering a full security response. Michelle and Keats create a diversion, drawing Centra's drones away, while PC guides them to the central lab. Inside, they find Christopher's body, suspended in a life support pod. PC explains the only way to reach him is from inside his mind. As the battle rages outside, Skate takes control of his own massive drone to confront the invaders. He is met by an unlikely opponent, Bradbury, who declares that freedom is worth any cost. Having finally met someone less human than a robot, Bradbury tells Michelle where to find Skate and sacrifices himself to buy her time. Michelle jacks into the neurocaster, her consciousness entering the virtual Christmas decorated home where her brother's mind is imprisoned. She finds him, but he delivers a devastating revelation. His connection to Centra is symbiotic. Without them, he dies. Without him, they die. There is no escape. He tells her he needs to die, and she has to be the one to do it. Michelle refuses, unable to bear losing him again. But Chris reminds her of the friends dying for them outside. He tells her that being with her, feeling everything, was enough for a lifetime. He tells her, "Goodbye, world," with a final heartbreaking plug. Across the island, Centra's network collapses. The drones fall from the sky. The bots have won, but as Keats discovers, winning always means someone loses. He finds Herman's massive body destroyed, and grieves for his best friend. But in a heartwarming twist, a tiny 8-inch version of Herman emerges from the wreckage. He wasn't dying, just transferring to a smaller body to save power, gleefully teasing Keats about his emotional confession. The world is in chaos. With Centra's network down, global infrastructure has ground to a halt. The truth about Centra's experiments is exposed. Ethan Skate is arrested. And the world is asking one question: who is the girl who brought it all down? In the aftermath, Michelle decides to address the world. She speaks not of war or technology, but of connection. She explains that real life isn't in a virtual world. It is in the contact between us, the electricity that connects our particles. She urges people to look around, to find the real, live person next to them. And for those who feel they have no one, she extends an invitation. He says, together,